got some World Juniors news. That's how we're going to start this Monday show. Oh boy. You wake up and you get something thrown at you that you probably aren't too happy with. I don't know. It sucks. World Juniors is such a big thing for all of us. All of us here. World Hockey Report 12-ounce sports. It sucks that, it's going to be different. Going to have a very different look. All right, it's World Hockey Report. Cody Jansen with you. Zingo TV, channel 761, 12-ounce sports. Coming to you live, 120ozsportsradio.com/live. Cody Jansen with you. Follow me on Twitter, of course, at Janner31. Interact anytime at World Hockey RPT. Show brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Use promo code 12OZSports when signing up, and they're going to match your deposit up to $1,000 just for signing up. That's MyBookie.ag. Promo code 12OZSports. That simple. They got you connected. Come on. Might as well throw a little bit of money down while you're watching some of these playoff games. They are entertaining, to say the least. But I got to get into this World Juniors news breaking this morning. I haven't seen it put around too much. Just saw, the interview with Renee Fossell. Surprised more people haven't jumped on. I mean, it is 10 o'clock Eastern time, but it is also a Monday. I understand. People are busy. People aren't always awake at this time of day. So we do appreciate those who are watching, tuning in, connecting. We're going to get to our What's Nutrition Performance question of the day later on, coming up on the show, 8:05. Got to grab Adam Ermantrout's thoughts on round 2 so far. You know what? Has it been surprising? Are we surprised that the Isles are suffocating the Flyers? Are we surprised that the Bruins are struggling? I mean, they're taking stupid penalties because their refs are calling more. Plus, they're without their starting goalie, and Tampa's actually playing half decent. Are we surprised Vancouver can't match the playoff intensity of Vegas? Are we surprised Colorado's backup goalie stinks and they can't seem to put together 3 periods? I don't know. I think there's a lot of obvious markers that are being made, probably not getting talked about enough. And we're going to dive into that a little bit later. 8:20, Sean Warren coming on, Area 51 Hockey Pond. Go check it out if you haven't already. 8:40, P2, King of the Ice, the real PT. Philly Pete coming on the show, potentially. And I threw him in a bad situation because I said, man, we got to talk about your Flyers. And so I scheduled him in. If not, he'll come on Friday, whenever. We'll get him on. We're going to get him on because we got to talk about the Flyers. We got to talk about what he's betting. I mean, this guy's up like 160 units this year. Give me a break. I went 1 for 1 last night. Thank you very much, Vegas, Colorado. They sewer me every single time. It's kind of getting old, if I'm being honest here. I don't know. They got to figure something out. So, yes, we're going to talk Canucks at 8:20. Hopefully Flyers at 8:40. Actually, guaranteed we're going to talk Flyers later on. Probably dive into a little bit more of this World Junior news. No fans. That's right. No fans at the 2020-21 World Juniors in Edmonton and Red Deer. I'm trying to process my thoughts without sounding over dramatic because the World Juniors has been so big for us. World Hockey Report. That's how it started. Started around World Juniors time, very first thing we covered. First video that goes viral. I mean, that's how the blog started taking off in the first place. That's how the podcast started getting a lot of recognition. Covering things like that. That fan atmosphere is so... it's unlike anything else. And yes, it was going to be in my backyard, so it sucks that it's not in Edmonton. Or that, we're not going to be able to have fans here in Edmonton. It sucks. But what do you do? What do you do? At this point, you kind of have to go, all right, let's hope it's for the better. Let's hope they know what they're talking about. Sounds like they're asking Hockey Canada to fork up a bunch of money. I don't know. I mean, IIHF, they're hand over fist in money already. Like, are they really struggling? I don't think so. I don't know. I can't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, though. All right, let's get to some NHL talk. Adam Erbentrout. We'll dive back into World Juniors. I'm not done with that. But, hey, before I run this one along, as I usually do, let's get Adam Erbentrout, buddy. We got to talk World Juniors. Were you able to catch some hockey this weekend, though?
Yeah, I kind of noticed that a couple weeks ago when I was golfing. It was like 8:30 at night, and I was like, not this again. Like, it's getting pretty cold out.
Yeah, no, not fun at all. And I mean, it feels like summer's flown by. Like, we're like 4 months until Christmas. That's insane.
Yeah, there's not really much to do, I guess, so.
Guess it's a good thing we got hockey playoffs coming our way in August here. Let's start with the East because Tampa has totally changed the dynamic of that Boston series. I mean, after getting dominated in game one, they've come out flying. I mean, Boston hasn't been good to begin with, but just in general, I feel like Tampa might be starting to click. I don't even know if I want to give them too much credit or if Boston's just playing terrible.
Yeah, I think Tampa, this is kind of what they were supposed to be last year, honestly, and maybe the last couple of years, and they just weren't for whatever reason, but as we said last week, they made a couple acquisitions kind of under the radar, very expensive ones, but they made their team better. Boston really hasn't been good. Like, you kind of watch Boston, it's like their top line hasn't really dominated like it has in the past. And Boston made a couple trades during the year. The one was for Andre Kasha, and the other was for Nick Ritchie. And I mean, Nick Ritchie, like that hit he made on Yanni Gourde was pretty greasy, and he's been horrible. And then Kasha's like your classic like analytics guy. It seems like where it's like, oh, he's got good analytics, and like I think good analytics at this point means like he's can do a lot of things except produce any offense at all. Like, he'll have the puck on his stick, but he won't do anything with it. So that, and then we're seeing this a bit in the Colorado series too, where your starter's not in net, and it's not like it affects the way you play, but like there's just something missing. And I think that if they had their number one goalie in, it wouldn't be missing.
You brought up the hit on Gourde as well by Ritchie. I mean, I was shocked he's not getting any supplemental discipline for it. In real time, yeah, it doesn't look as bad, but still, that's a pretty dangerous, gutless hit. But also, I mean, I've said it before, I hate when guys lay on the ice and then finish off playing, especially if it's that period. Like, if you go back to the dressing room for the intermission, you go get checked out, fixed up, whatever you need, fine, play the next period. But if you're back that same period or like a couple of shifts later, like, I mean, give me a break. That's pathetic.
Yeah, I don't really like that, especially like as soon as like that hit gets made, you're like looking at it and you're like he very well could be stretchered off right
exactly.
now.
No, for sure. That's a dangerous, terrible hit. But like also the fact of like you take that hit, he braces himself, he kind of lays on the ice for a while. Then all of a sudden, it's just, you know, he kind of hides on the bench, pretends he's injured until all of a sudden they give Ritchie a 5 after looking at it. And then all of a sudden he's good to go a couple of shifts later.
Yeah, it's a pretty greasy move. Like, I think, like, you're laying there and you're just in shock, but, like, get up off the ice. Like, and it goes the other way, too. Like, there's been a couple where if a guy lays on the ice for an extra 30 seconds, the guy's getting a 5-minute major, like, right?
No, I know. It's the reffing's been so frustrating. We don't even have to dive into that right now. Like, it just feels like every little thing gets called, and I get it. Like, you want to get rid of these little slashes and trips and stuff, but it's so frustrating. Like, I hate special teams when it's deciding games. It's just, I don't know. Like, if you're not going to get hurt, what's the point? Like, take a penalty in playoffs that you're going to hurt someone. You know, that's part of the game, is beating up your opponents, grinding them down. If you're not running them through the boards like Ryan Reeves on Quinn Hughes, it's not worth the penalty. I mean, if you're going to sit in the box for 2 minutes, at least make sure, the other guy's bleeding, bruised, or is going to feel that the next day. I don't even know if you can say that anymore.
Not like a little tap on the pants.
Yeah, like I don't even know if you can say that anymore, but like all this little chintzy stuff, like a little hook on the arm, like man, I'd rather see like Rantanen just cross-check Heiskanen in the ribs 17 times. Like that's a penalty worth taking because you're actually going to give someone a bruise, not this little like stick tap to the gloves. And every time someone gets hit in the gloves now, they're shaking their hands. Like, give me a break. We've all played hockey before. We know that that's like number one selling point. It's getting outrageous.
Yeah, I agree with that. And some of what I've always kind of figured growing up playing hockey is like you watch like guys go in there after the whistle and they have no intention of fighting. They just go in there and they push someone. It's like, what's going in there and pushing someone do? Like you're telling them you're tough. Like I've never got that.
No, I know. And then as soon as like someone grabs onto him or punches them in the face, they're looking at the ref. That's just kind of what it's become. But okay, moved along. The Isles, they're just absolutely smothering the Flyers right now. Like the Flyers have nothing. Their big guns offensively aren't doing anything. Doesn't matter if they're facing Semyon Varlamov or Thomas Greiss. Like they're not generating any offense. They're too slow. They're not creative enough. And they're not willing to put pucks on net and get to the dirty area. So I'm really not surprised that, they're getting their shit kicked in right now.
Yeah, and Philly's top guys didn't really have a great year either. Like I think Travis Konechny was their leading scorer, and they haven't really done much. And give the Islanders credit because doesn't it seem like for the longest time they've had like a group of forwards like Brock Nelson, Josh Bailey, Anders Lee, who are like good players, but like you're just like like they're okay, like middle six guys, and those guys have all been really good. And I mean, and then you throw Barzal and Eberle into the mix, and the Islanders have looked really well. And their goalie Thomas Greiss actually played really good yesterday for what he is, and then they just have like once again 4 or 5 defensemen like who you don't really know much about. Like Pulak's good, Nick Leddy's good, but then like Scott Mayfield and Devin Taves, but they just all worked kind of together.
They're literally like the Vegas of the East. Like they're kind of just a bunch of nobodies, and then there's a couple of decent players who seem to get things done. Like what? I think Barzal and Beauvillier are like they're only like top round picks or something crazy, or is it top round the last 5 years? There's some insane stat like that with the Isles.
There's like Michael Del Cole and Josh Hosang, and those guys aren't playing.
Isn't Hosang in the KHL now?
I don't know.
Man, that Justin Danforth guy's disgusting. I was watching a preseason game, and then I seen his first goal is unbelievable. He's just lighting it up. He never played in any leagues either. Like he was decent in college at Sacred Heart, but they play a shitty schedule, and then went over the KHL. He's now disgusting. So would expect him to come over. Like he's like, I mean, I think he's still like mid-20s, and like he's outscoring guys like Jesse Puljujärvi and stuff in the Finnish top league. So wouldn't be surprised to see him get a chance. Any chance Philadelphia comes back though in this series?
No, I can't see it. Like I just think like the Islanders, like they're tough to beat like once, let alone 3 times in a row.
Colorado's a hot mess. That's costing my wallet every time they play. I don't get this team. I don't understand them. I just got to start betting the overs because they're so disappointing. Their goaltending is their goaltending's not good, but also their defense is just a run and gun style right now. I mean, they have no structure. They don't even look like they got a coach right now. I mean, they're playing shinny hockey out there. Nathan McKinnon's been almost irrelevant in this series except for, maybe a couple of periods in the first 4 games here. But Dallas has taken them to school.
Yeah, and like Colorado, everybody's like loving their like running gun style, and it works against Arizona,
like Arizona.
I guess. Like Arizona and kind of lower end teams, but like it's kind of like a bit of like the Washington theory, right? Where it's like that style works for so long, and then eventually like you run into a team like Dallas who all of a sudden is this like offensive juggernaut somehow, but you run into a team like that who defends pretty well and they check you pretty hard and it just doesn't work. And I think once you get to like these rounds, everybody's a good team and they can score off transition, where in like the first couple of rounds, like you might get away with allowing a 2-on-1 against like Arizona, but now it's like they're not stopping it.
I don't even think Dallas is that amazing though. Like they're playing fine and they're a decent team who's finding ways to score. But like Colorado's goaltending's always been suspect. Their actual defensive play's always been suspect. And like
they lost Erik Johnson too, like their best like defensive defenseman.
Oh, exactly. Like he's their stay-at-home guy. But man, like Khudobin has not been amazing for the Stars. Like if they're playing against a competent offense right now, like that top line for Colorado has been terrible this series. I'll say it. Like they have not been good. I don't care they get a couple of points, but like they should all have 3 or 4. Like Khudobin looks like a street hockey goaltender out there half the time. If they would just put the puck on net, it's not that hard. I mean, you know, they score 4 and they have a terrible offensive game. They almost didn't have a shot in the first period. Like they've just been playing themselves out of games by like trying to be too fancy, not wanting to go to the dirty areas, and then you've got guys who just want to hold on to the puck for too long until it's too late.
Yeah, and I kind of noticed that on the power play too, and I called out Rantanen, and I mean, the other day he turned it over on the power play four straight times, I think it was, and they've done I don't know, their power play seems to be like McKinnon to Makar, back to McKinnon, back to Makar, and it's just like a lot of back and forth around the outside, and they're not really getting anything through right now. And Dallas, I mean, as we've said this whole time, like they have those playoff guys who are going to get in the lanes and block those shots. Like they're up 3-0. Colorado didn't have a shot, and Radulov blocked one from the point, and I mean they weren't allowing anything.
Do you give Colorado any chance to come back in this series? Like to win 3 straight against Dallas doesn't seem impossible until you look at some of the pieces that Colorado has out. Like I would give them like maybe 5% chance, but honestly, like they're just the way that Dallas is playing right now, it's got to be done. Like they're drawing penalties. I mean, Corey Perry drew 4 penalties tonight or last night. You know, it's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like with the way the series has gone, like it's been kind of like there's been scoring in bunches, and maybe that wins Colorado a game, maybe McKinnon takes over a game, but like let's not forget Dallas was like one of the worst offensive teams in the league, and now it's just maybe they all found it. And I mean, guys like Pavelski and Ben, like they don't really care about the regular season. And yeah, I think it'll be tough to do, like especially with Francouz in it. It's not like he played bad. Like you look at the goals last night, and like how many could he have had? Like 1 maybe? No,
like 3. 3 out of the 5 at least.
Well, the first 2 of 3 were tips, so like I can't really fault him there. But I mean, there's one, like if you allow one kind of spotty goal that goes in, like you're on the bench and you're like, oh god, here we go again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it happening. Oh man, I don't know. We got a couple tonight, I guess. Who you got any predictions? You got Boston, Tampa tonight?
Yeah, I think the Tampa one's over.
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet right there. And then it's Colorado Dallas tonight as well, correct?
Yes.
That one,
I think. Yeah, I think Colorado gets 1, and then Dallas gets Game 6.
Wow. Okay, I'm not betting Colorado anymore though. That's just been an absolute pile burner so far.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, buddy. Thanks as always.
JD, sounds good.
Adam Ermintrout there. Good old Sasky guy. Chandler Stevenson, shout out to him. Been unreal for Vegas so far in these playoffs. Alrighty, we got to step aside here, ran that one a little bit late. Sean Warren is going to come up. We're going to talk some Canucks. They trail 3-1 against Vegas. Is it over? And I got to ask him about Jacob Markstrom. Is he a $6 million goaltender? I'm not sold on it yet. I don't know. I would love to pick his brain on it because that's one thing I just haven't got behind. It's World Hockey Report Live, going on sports.
Verbero did a lot of great things before I arrived as the brand owner. And one of the things they did incredibly well was create this carbon fiber skate. There were some perceived deficiencies from my end, aesthetically and maybe even functionally. The comfort roll edge up on top, softening that material, changing the interior liner to make it a better performing and faster drying liner. We worked to make the skate function better as well by changing the carbon fiber to a Japanese grade carbon fiber that actually relieved about 30% of the carbon fiber weight of the skate. So we added an increase in not only the performance of the skate because of making it lighter, but we are actually getting more flex in the skate because of the quality of the carbon fiber that we altered out.
Try on a pair of skates. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, you pick this product up, it's as good, if not better, than any of the top-end product that's out there in the marketplace.
The Mercury skate became incredibly comfortable, and it became more durable, and it also performed better by being able to interact with the foot a lot better through the skating stride. Verbero is living proof of what a skate should cost, a high-end skate with the most advanced materials and construction, right? So if people understand that this is what a skate should cost, eventually they should understand that they shouldn't buy the competitor's skate.
Hold the mask, pinch the nose, gives you a nice fresh air vent, covers the whole chin, or if you're gonna go get a haircut, and wrap it around your neck, like so.
It's World Hockey Report Live. Cody Jansen with you on 12 Ounce Sports, Zingo TV, channel 761. What a Monday. I mean, what a weekend of hockey. We had 6 games. For the most part, they were all pretty competitive as well. Maybe didn't get as many overtimes as I would have liked, but it happens. Alrighty, before we get to Sean Warren here from Area 51 Hockey, got to tell you about our new sponsor. If you want to keep your drinks cold this summer, it's time to ditch the traditional koozie. Now, I know there's frost on the ground this morning up by Edmonton, but it's going to heat up again. You're going to be going out to the golf course. You're going to want to keep those drinks cold. 2D Wrap, the universal drink insulator that fits any beverage, hot or cold, made right here in Canada. 2D Wraps are made with high military-grade neoprene for the highest quality product possible. Strong and durable 2D Wrap keeps your drink hot or cold for hours on end. Check them out today, 2dwrap.com. That's TUDIWrap.com for the best drink accessory in the game. Alrighty, let's head out west. I know you're not on the West Coast, Sean, but hey, I appreciate you taking time this morning. Let's talk about Game 4 from last night. Man, it looked very promising for a bit, and in the third period, Vegas, I mean, their depth, they just keep grinding away on you. And I want to ask about one guy in particular because Jacob Markstrom, some people are giving him a lot of heat. Some people are giving him a lot of credit. I mean, I'm not handing him a $6 million contract right now, but I want you to break down what you saw from him last night.
Well, it certainly did look good at different points, right? Like after the second period, if you went on Twitter, you would have thought the game was over. Vancouver won, tied series, right? And people were feeling pretty good, and they had a lot of reason to feel good. And Jacob Markstrom was one of the biggest reasons for that. And coming off of a back-to-back, it was a difficult situation for him to be put in to start with, right? Like we see Vegas go with Marc-Andre Fleury instead of opting to work Robin Lehner on the back-to-back. We saw the same thing as well with the Philadelphia and New York Islanders series where they went with Brian Elliott and Thomas Greiss. So really the only goaltender that was asked to do that was Jacob Markstrom, which is no surprise because he's handled the workload up to this point, has been spectacular. Unfortunately, in that third period especially, he looked tired, right? Like as one would expect. I thought that his fatigue level really showed. But for me, like as much as he should have had, I would say all three of those goals were pretty soft and not something that you want to be giving up, especially at the time that they did. The guys have to play way cleaner hockey in front of him. Like they allowed Vegas to gain momentum in that third period, gave him all sorts of time and space to come in through with speed, which Vegas loves to do. Like if you have guys like Alex Tuch, you're loving flying in with speed through the neutral zone, making that offensive zone entry. And Vancouver's been, for the most part, giving a lot of space for that. So that's something that they have to clean up or had to clean up. And unfortunately for Jacob Markstrom and the Canucks, it just they allowed too much time and space for them in ultimately the most critical period of the series up to this point.
Why do Canucks fans, media members have no faith in Thatcher Demko? I mean, I didn't watch enough of his games throughout the season. I mean, if I saw 3, that would probably be the max. But like, is there no faith in him? Because I thought this guy like has potential to be the future of the franchise. I mean, I know he's still younger. I wouldn't call him super young. I mean, he's not Carter Hart age by any means. But like, is there really no faith in this guy to go with him for one game and say, hey, maybe if we play our backup goalie, like, I mean, kind of what Philly and the Isles said, maybe we'll lock it down better in front of him. Maybe, he'll be wanting to prove himself and he'll have a good start. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I certainly would have played him, at least in the third period when it was kind of clear that Markstrom was struggling. I like Demko a lot, and there is a lot of faith here for him, especially going forward in the future. But I think it's just kind of almost a respect thing with Markstrom. Like Markstrom has played so well this season; he's been the team's MVP up to this point, and it seems blasphemous to say that anybody other than him would be in the pipes for the Canucks at any point. And barring an absolute catastrophe for Jacob Markstrom. And I think there's been games this series where he's been pretty shaky. I would have put him in at some point. Like, I don't think I would have started him. But I would have absolutely had Demko in at some points just to even gain him some experience, since that seems to be the famous knock that's on him. But, I mean, you could use that same knock on Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes and Brock Besser coming into the playoffs in general, and you have an opportunity to give a young goaltender some experience, and you don't. I think the other thing, too, with that is this is Jacob Markstrom's first playoffs run, and I think them running with him kind of shows their hand a little bit for what their plans are for this summer. I do fully expect Jacob Markstrom to be re-signed.
At what cost, though? Can they afford $6.5 million?
That's going to be the big question, because I have heard that the demand is high like that. Like he's asking more than 6. to me, you cannot go more than 6. 6 would be your absolute max, and even then, you're in a really tight bind because of how many players are up. Their contracts are up this summer, and I know, like, I've been spending a fair bit of time just on Cap Friendly looking at it, and it's really tight. Like, there's going to be a lot of creativity having to come from the Canucks front office to make sure that everybody fits under the cap, let alone actually progressing and getting better instead of regressing from this run, because you don't want to regress at this point, as I'm sure I don't have to tell somebody that's in Edmonton. Right? After you make a big playoff run, you don't want to have that fallback, right? It's damaging to do that. So to be able to continue to take strides forward and continue to build off this experience is critical. So it'll be difficult to do, but it can be done if they can get some of these bottom 6 veterans sorted out. But I mean, that's a tough ask with the flat cap.
I respect the little jab towards Edmonton because it has not been all sunshine and rainbows out here. I don't need to be the one to tell you that. Sean Warren, Area 51 Hockey, my guest here. We'll Talk Here Report live interview brought to you by 2D Ramp. Go check them out, 2dramp.com. Sean, let's take a look back as a series as a whole. And I know Quinn Hughes, Pettersson, Besser, they've been good in these playoffs. Who's been... Toffoli has made an impact. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying he's been their best player, but for you, who's one player who's really stuck out? It can't be Markstrom either.
No, that's fair. I think I've been beyond impressed with Elias Pettersson every game, and I know, like, for me, it just kind of goes back to his whole career arc, right? Like, he gets drafted. All these comments about how small he is. Oh, that's a small frame. He's got to put weight on. Rookie season comes. Wow, he's still really small. And you know what? First season, he does remarkably well, even though most of the time he does kind of look like Bambi out there. Second season comes, and his strength on his skates and his ability just to take big hits or to withhold that kind of pressure. And everybody's been throwing everything at him. He's, aside from Quinn Hughes, he's the focus, right? And to me, he's such a big game player and really has shown off his elite talent by stepping up into the big situations and playing well. Like, he's second in points in the playoffs, only to Nathan McKinnon. He seems to be able to make time and space for himself any way he can, whether that be physically or just with his hands or his smarts. Like, he's a very smart player, and I would say aside from Bo Horvat, he's the guy that's really stood out to me and impressed me the most, especially in this Vegas series.
Totally fair. I mean, that Vancouver power play in general is absolutely incredible. Now I'm going to leave you with this one, Sean. I mean, what's the chances? What are the percentage you'll give them for a comeback here? I mean, please just tell me we're getting a Game 7 and I'll be happy. But like, what are we going to get here? Are we going to see Vancouver claw back into this? Because I'm not ruling them out. I'm still, like, Vegas is a fine team, but I'm not sold that they're unbeatable.
I'm not either. And honestly, like, coming into this series, I wanted to play Vegas because I saw them as beatable. As kind of crazy as that is, I just viewed them as what St. Louis was advertised as and what we were supposed to be getting in that team. And seeing how effective Vancouver was against St. Louis and shutting them down, I just thought with a little bit tighter game all around, a little bit more energy, Vegas is very beatable, and I don't know about their odds going forward here. The bubble seems to be a different animal, where if you're down 3-1,
yeah, you're screwed.
As soon as that third game happens, you're pretty much done, right? And we haven't seen any Game 7s yet, which is really crazy to me because you would think with no travel, everything, there's much more opportunity for guys to be rested, but I do think this probably ends next game, but it's been really fun. And I would love to see Game 6 at least. Like, I would love for them to steal one more game to really just give an extra jab to Vegas on the way out. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I'm really happy with this run, and I know a lot of people are pretty upset right now just from the loss.
Just don't burn down Vancouver.
The same thing, right? Yeah, like I think a lot of people saw the same thing, that Vegas is beatable and that this Vancouver team seems to be able to get under their skin, right? And to be that close, especially where you're just about to tie the series and then one period you lose it all, that's tough. But it'll be a good learning lesson going forward for the team, and I'm excited for the years to come after this one.
Sean, I appreciate the insight. I appreciate you getting up early and taking the time. That has been awesome. Be sure, Area 51. When are you guys dropping podcasts? Is it certain days, or is it just kind of, when you guys get to recording?
We did have certain days, but of course with the playoff schedule being as kind of wild as it has been, we've just trying to find the holes in between games to record. So we will be putting out another episode probably tonight, and then
let's go
from there. Yeah.
Perfect, Sean, man. I appreciate you taking the time, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Sean Warren right there, Area 51 Hockey. Be sure to go check out his podcast. They got everything going. Great insight. It's a fun group of guys. Go follow them on Twitter. They got a bunch of different ones running the account. I know, hey, they got a partnership, High Stake Vodka. They're not afraid of a little pop here or there. That is, that's just what the hockey world needs. Less negative hockey podcasts. More guys like Sean. More guys like Area 51. Alrighty. I said I'd get to our What's Nutrition Performance question of the day quickly here. I know we're running over commercial time, but whatever. We're going to be fine. We're going to get to it. No one worry. I said, I said, what are the odds you give Vancouver coming back? It's What's Nutrition and Performance question of the day. WNP, the best workout plans, the best meal plans, the best apparel on the market. Go check out Curtis and his team today, WNP. All the second round series are sitting at 3-1 right now. Bolts, Isles, Stars, Knights lead. Who's got the best chance of coming this one back? This is our WNP question of the day. Ken Vigorous says none. Bruins pissed off the officials, so they'll be getting called. They get called the garbage. They do. Doesn't make sense. Philly doesn't have Gritty in the bubble. That's true. Canucks forgot how game 2 they blocked a gazillion shots. Not sure gazillion's a number, but I like it. Avs are being manhandled. They're not blocking shots either. That's an in-depth answer. Okay, I got to tip my hat to you there. The Ontario Tap offenses. West, I'm going to see Avs. Team worked too hard to go down in 5. East pick's got to be Boston. Would hurt them to see Tampa lose. But you have to give the Bruins credit when they're in a tricky spot. Derek O'Brien goes, I'd say the Avs have the best chance of coming back. But it's also looking quite possible that we'll get through 2 playoff rounds of the single game 7. He says he can't recall that ever happening in the 16-team era dating back to 1987. Yeah, wasn't around, wasn't watching playoffs. And John Lester, not the MLB pitcher, says definitely not the Flyers. I got to agree with him. Vanya Zapetti says his chart, number 1, Bruins, number 2, Flyers, number 3, Avs, number 4, Canucks. I like that list. I do. I don't put the Flyers up there. I would say the Avs have a better chance. And I'd say the Canucks have a better chance than the Flyers. I just don't see it in the Flyers right now. Eddie goes with Colorado and Load Toad. Says no chance the Avs get it done. They can't get out of their own way right now. That's fair. Let us know how you're feeling. Hit us up on Twitter at World Hockey RPT. It's 8:41 local time. Cody Jansen with you here on 12 Ounce Sports. We'll see if we connect. King of the Ice after this. We do have to get to a commercial break. We're going to come back. We're talking more hockey. Let's dive into a little bit. Hey, the Isles won 3-2 yesterday, and I've hardly mentioned them. That's an underrated team right now. They're all buying in, and a lot of people want to talk, they don't have that high-end skill. Barzal and Beauvillier, sandpaper finish. Those guys are getting it done. It's World Hockey Report, Zingo TV, 12 Ounce Sports.
did a lot of great things before I arrived as the brand owner. And one of the things they did incredibly well was create this carbon fiber skate. There were some perceived deficiencies from my end, aesthetically and maybe even functionally. The comfort roll edge up on top, softening that material, changing the interior liner to make it a better performing and faster drying liner. We worked to make the skate function better as well by changing the carbon fiber to a Japanese grade carbon fiber that actually relieved about 30% of the carbon fiber weight of the skate. So we added an increase in not only the performance of the skate because of making it lighter, but we are actually getting more flex in the skate because of the quality of the carbon fiber that we altered out.
Try on a pair of skates. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, you pick this product up, it's as good, if not better, than any of the top end product that's out there in the marketplace.
The Mercury skate became incredibly comfortable and it became more durable, and it also performed better by being able to interact with the foot a lot better through the skating stride. Verbero is living proof of what a skate should cost, a high-end skate with the most advanced materials and construction, right? So if people understand that this is what a skate should cost, eventually they should understand that they shouldn't buy the competitor's skate.
Hold the mask, pinch the nose, gives you a nice fresh air vent, covers the whole chin, or if you're gonna go get a haircut, then wrap it around your neck, like so.
World Juniors, that's what it's looking like. We broke the news earlier on the show. It's also out on Twitter. Put it out there. Got it from media this morning per Renee Fassel. I believe it was talking to a Swedish outlet. I didn't see it much around the North American media circuit yet. So, of course, World Hockey Report. I mean, we're breaking news. It happens. Per Renee Fassel, World Juniors. He's the IIHF president, or whatever you want to call him, the king, leader. IIHF's kind of a scam. Let's be realistic here. World Juniors in Edmonton Red Deer, if they happen, will not have spectators. Right now, IIHF's waiting to see if Hockey Canada is willing to make a financial proposal to have games played without fans. It's going to be a big loss. It's going to be a huge loss. And it sucks. It sucks in general. The World Juniors are just way better with fans. That's what makes it the World Juniors. Huge thanks once again to Sean Warren for coming on, talking some Canucks, some great insight. Be sure to go check them out, Area 51 Hockey. They got the podcast, they got the blogs, they got merchandise, everything on their website. Go check them out, Sean Warren, Area 51. You got the whole team there as well. I mean, it's not just Sean with them. You got Sam, Malcolm, Brad, Bailey, Eric. I hope I didn't forget any of them. If I did, I'm sorry. I'm trying to list them off as we go about here. Area 51 Hockey, Sean Warren. Yet again, thanks to them. Adam Ermtrout, of course, our Sasky guy coming on to start the show. No Philly Pete here. Here's the story. I shot him a message this morning. I said, hey, you're coming on the show today. He goes, man, I don't know if I can do it. I got a meeting. I said, I'm booking you in. I don't care. You know, if you can't come on, you can't come on. But I'm booking you in. We got to talk about those Flyers. So we'll get them on. Maybe on Friday. Maybe it's next week. Who knows? I got to talk about the Flyers because I don't understand this team. They've got so much skill, so much potential, and they want to try and play a perimeter game, which the Isles are going to eat you up if you try to do that. They don't want to put pucks on net and get to the dirty areas. They just want to sling it around the outside. They want to put low-quality chances on a goaltender like Thomas Greiss, Semyon Varlamov. They're done. They're done. I mean, their goaltending is allowing 3 goals a game, something around that. And I get it, that's not terrible, but that's not good enough for playoff hockey. It's not going to work. Never has, never will. Okay, maybe it worked in the 80s when hockey was 7-5 playoff games. Does not work that way. If you're Philly, you're all right if you're playing against Dallas or Colorado because, I mean, they play with half a goalie most of the time anyways. Keep betting the over in that series also. And the Vancouver one, I don't know why I laid off. Like 1-3-0 game and just mental pretzel. Wasn't even thinking. Bet Vegas to win a regulation. That one worked. Probably could have hit the over there as well. I don't give the Flyers any chance to come back. And I asked our question, what's nutrition performance question of the day? Who's coming back? Who is? Let us know. Hit us up on Twitter at World Hockey RPT, of course. It's as simple as that. Hey, summer is still around. I know there's frost on the ground this morning. That's not going to scare you. We still got summertime hockey. Been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. We've officially found the drink of summer. Probably your September long weekend as well. I get stocked up on this stuff because it's flying off the shelves. It's flying off the shelves. I got sent a picture the other day as well. Someone's hanging out at BSW Liquor in Sherwood Park. They're trying to go pick up a case. They had to go get the guy at the front to go pick more up from the back because they're on sale. I think they're on sale for like $9. Like, what a deal. What a deal right there. Cocoa vodka and rum, the original refreshing mixed drink in a can, combines real natural coconut water from the Philippines, triple distilled vodka or smooth Puerto Rican white rum, and a splash of sparkling water. Cocoa vodka and rum, started by 2 Canadians with a plan, come up with a healthier summer drink made with quality ingredients. Ditch those boring seltzer waters, they're full of fake flavors. Up your drink game. Talk about a vacation in a can here. Cocoa vodka and rum, available at BSW Liquor in Alberta, and they recently launched in a ton of states like Michigan, Connecticut, Maryland, Delaware, Massachusetts, and Maine. Don't forget, you can order online at enjoycoco.com. Enjoy the Cocoa life with World Hockey Report. Go pick yourself up a case today. Also, if you go and pick some up, take a picture, tag us in it. Tag Enjoy Cocoa on Instagram. I mean, come on, show us some love here. We know you're drinking it. We know you're buying it. I got a few people that are sending me stuff. Post it on social media. Give them some love. They're great. I mean, I'm telling you, we've had Mark on the show. Maybe we'll have to get Av on as well. You know, these are just, they're awesome guys. They're awesome people. Highly recommend. We would never back something we don't support. Cocoa vodka, cocoa rum. They've been nothing but phenomenal. And it's definitely the best. Go check them out today. EnjoyCoco.com. That's EnjoyCoco.com. Once again, of course, thanks to Verbero Hockey, 12-ounce sports, WNP, MyBookie.ag. Use promo code 12OZ Sports when signing up. They're going to match your deposit up to $1,000. Should we talk about Colorado Dallas? Because that Cale Makar goal, that's not a good look. That's a tough one. It's a weird balance. I don't know what Franco's doing. I don't know what Makar's doing. You know, it's a weird hop. We're playing hockey in August. The ice sucks. But that just can't happen. Especially they score late, too. Did Cale Makar sleep last night? I highly doubt it. That's a tough one. Should be going to overtime, and they should be having a ton of momentum while doing so. I mean, Francois wasn't good enough. Nathan McKinnon hasn't been good enough. The Avs top guys haven't been good enough. So what do you expect from them? Are they going to come back down 3-1? I don't see it happening. I don't. Like, I would love for the Avs to make this a series. I'd love to be like, this is going to be a great Game 7. Dallas won't let that happen. As bad as Khudobin is of a starting goaltender, great backup, terrible starter. I see Dallas just grinding out a couple of games. And you can't win with goofy goalies. I've talked about it enough times. Those silly siders you catch with your right hand. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. Find me the last right-handed backwards catching tendy to be a successful starting goaltender with the playoffs as well for 5 seasons in a row. Just doesn't happen. 3 seasons. I don't even think you can put Steve Mason in that category. He had minimal playoff success. Good World Junior goalie. Same with someone like Rick DiPietro. Same thing's going to happen with Askarov. I wouldn't waste a draft pick on him. There's something about it, I'm telling you. I'm not a goaltending expert. There's something about catching backwards, catching with your right hand. That's a disadvantage that it just doesn't work in the NHL. Maybe it's because you're mostly facing left-handed shooters, I believe. Maybe that's the thing, because you got that drag and shoot on the blocker side. Or because, if a lefty is shooting across his body, it's now going glove side on you, and that low glove is a little bit harder to reach. There's something about it. Let me know. Hey, of course, get at us on Twitter. At World Hockey RPT. I'm on Twitter at Janner31. Let me know. Are we going to see a silly Seider starting goalie in the NHL? Because I don't believe it. Michael Hutchinson couldn't start for a team. Pavel Francouz can't start for a team. Who else am I missing in the league currently? I feel like I'm missing another one. Jonas Hiller, I guess, maybe. I don't think his stretch was over 3 years, was it? Maybe Hiller. Hiller's been the most dominant one, and he's playing Swiss League right now. Like a true franchise goaltender, a starting goalie of 5+ years on a successful team that catches with the right hand. You can't find it. You can't. I guarantee you. I don't know, maybe like Tom Barrasso? Everyone thought it was going to be Rick DiPietro. That didn't work out. Let me know, though. Hit us up on Twitter at World Hockey RPT. Breaking news from the World Juniors IIHF this morning. No fans in Edmonton and Red Deer for the World Juniors. It sucks. Also, can we talk about Ryan Reaves for a second? Steve Simmons. I mean, he's unblocked us on Twitter. We've been unblocked by multiple people now. I don't know. Maybe we're on the good side of history. Maybe we're just that good of people. But Ryan Reaves... This is from Steve Simmons. This is his tweet. Quote, Ryan Reaves is embarrassing himself with all his histrionics. That's a big word. On the Vegas bench. Chirping Travis Green. Not cool. End quote. Is there anything wrong with chirping a coach? Let me know. Hit us up on Twitter at World Hockey RPT. I don't think so. Man, if Green's going to be giving it to you, if he's going to be giving it to the refs, you might as well say something to him. I don't care if you're just telling him to shut up, calling him a crybaby. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what Reaves is doing. He was giving him a couple of little gestures. You can take a coach off of his game. Coaches are valuable. Coaches are important. Coaches that are calm, cool, and collected succeed. Coaches that are emotional roller coasters, their teams act like that as well. Ryan Reaves knows. Ryan Reaves, and I mean, love him or hate him, he's an effective hockey player. He's worth 3 times his salary for what he brings to the game. He crunched Quinn Hughes. He scares Peterson. He's now living rent-free in the head of Travis Green. So I want to know, a couple of people chiming in. Dave says, hell no, chirp the equipment managers as well. It's playoff hockey. Oh, I think that's because, is there anything wrong with it? Wade Giesbrecht says, chirping's one thing on the hand it's the hand gestures and skating across the ice to taunt players in the penalty box. Stuff like that where it's become juvenile and classless. In my opinion, Reaves is definitely looking foolish. I disagree. I 100% disagree, because that's his game. That's what works. That's that new school, new age agitator. That's exactly what works for Ryan Reaves. Brando says no, Steve needs to retire. I didn't say it. Steve Gallagher says you don't see it often, so there must be. I don't think so, just because you don't see it. I think that's more on the fact that coaches are usually less likely to interact with players. But Travis Green lost his cool. It happens. Ryan Reaves got on his grill like he's done with the entire Vegas, Vancouver team. State of Hoppy, the great guys from Hockey Pod Nest, said zero fun. High Priest of Oilers Magic says, no, that was the best thing I saw all day. I agree. West Coast Hockey Bias says, well, the coach isn't able to punch in the mouth. Yeah. So it's kind of cowardly. Who cares? If you don't want to interact with them, don't talk with them. That's what you're telling your players, probably. Joe Kelly's fastball, yeah, but his players can. They won't, though. That's funny. Vancouver, I don't know. I don't see them coming back. I just want a Game 7. Is it too much to ask for? Just one. One Game 7. Also, I totally forgot. Hats are out. They're on their way. Go check them out. We'll talk about Overtime Challenge. Let's get some overtimes rolling. We got those hats shipped out. They're going all over. I mean, we got people winning them. Maryland, Italy, Kentucky. They're going up to Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Ontario, BC. They're flying out. I think Illinois as well. They're all over the place. I probably forgot a few, but I still love it. We'll give it away. We'll give away those hats. Just keep supporting the fellas. World Hockey Report. Cody Jansen with you, Zingo TV. It's been a slice. Wrapping this one up. Sean Warren doesn't think Markstrom is worth 6.5. Maybe that's what he's saying. Maybe that's what he's at. Adam's counting everyone down 3-1. I got to agree with them. It sucks. I'm pissed off. I don't like it that we don't get World Juniors with fans. But I understand why. Alrighty, Friday's show coming up. Probably going to be a noon one. We'll talk with Jeff. We'll see. We'll see what the 12-ounce sports boss has to say. Zingo TV, Channel 761. Cody Jansen, World Hockey Report. Glenn Kaplan is next. Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner coming to you live on 12-ounce sports. Until Friday, peace out.